Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mekka and today I am going to show you guys the newest palette, or it's actually not even the newest anymore because they released another one, but this one is one of their three newest palettes called, I think it's called Swatches or something, but it's from the Rococo collection, which is a big collection, and I just loved how this palette looks like. Bought this palette because I just thought it was so pretty and so perfect for spring, and this shadow right here, you guys, it's so pretty. So I'm going to show you some swatches of the palette. That I also did a demo of the palette with this look that I'm wearing right here, so if you're interested in seeing that, then this is the video for you. Something to note is also that this palette does not have a mirror. I think most of the Glam Shop palettes usually do, or maybe they don't, but it's worth noting. And it looks like this on the outside. It's really pretty, very spring colors. And that is the color story swatched on my arm, and it's a big palette. So I'm just going to zoom you in so that you can see the sparkles and shifts a little bit better, because it's not that easy to see. So the two first shadows are mattes. They're like a peachy kind of matte, very light pastel. And then there's a pastel blue. And the first shimmer here, it looks like it's definitely an iridescent, but I feel like it actually has glitters in them, like actual plastic glitter. I'm not sure if it is, but it feels a bit gritty, and I can kind of see the small particles, I guess. So I wish that it wasn't, but I think it is. And then we have this one, which is a light purple. You can see that it has a relatively iridescent base, and then it shifts from like a cooler toned purple to a more pink purple. Then there's a purple matte, which I always love. It reminds me a bit of the one I have in my Serpent palette. And then this one is a very light pink to gold. Then there is a light blue which shifts to pink. And then we have the bright neon green. We have kind of like a deeper version of this one. So I feel like maybe those are a little bit too similar, but I do understand why they're in here. They are different enough. And then there's this one. It's a little bit more of a grungy purple with a blue to pink shift and a slightly warmer base, as you can see. There are two kind of neutral mattes. One is a little bit more mustardy orangey and the other one is just like a beige. And the most exciting shadow in this palette is this one. Oh, it is so pretty, and this does not even do it justice. I feel like you're gonna have to watch the footage that I'm going to show you after the demo, because I did a one and done look with this shadow and it looked so amazing. It's super shiny and it has a shift from blue to pink. Then there is this matte, which is a super bright magenta with sparkles, and the sparkles are pretty obvious, so I wonder if that's actually going to show in the eye as well. And then there's this kind of deeper burgundy that blends to a more berry shadow. All in all, I would say this is a very interesting color story, and I'm so happy I have it now because I just think it's super fun and I'm excited to create more looks with it during spring and summer. I feel like these are just such fun and bright colors, and there's so many different things you can do with this palette. So those were all of these swatches. And now I'm going to do a demo of the eye look that I was wearing in the intro. I'm gonna start off the look using the Glam Shop base. I already have the Smashbox Primer just around the crease to make sure I don't get too many oils. You can see I've used a lot of this one, and I do have a backup because I got one sent in PR and I bought one myself. But I really wanted to just show you how I apply this, because I don't usually apply it on the lid because I tend to struggle a little bit with creasing if I put too much product on the lid. So as you can see, I'm kind of covering the areas where the eyeshadow is going to be blended so that you can see my skin through. And obviously right there where my skin is showing through, I don't want it to show through as blue. So what I usually do is just I take a little bit of what I have applied and I blend it up towards the brow right here. I try to avoid the crease itself just because I don't want excess product there. And I also go a little bit under the eye right here just because I usually don't add anything else when I apply my eyeshadow there, and it's nice to have a little bit of a base there as well for the eyeshadow to stick to. And as usual, I try to blend it out a little bit here so you don't see an obvious line, I guess you could say. So for the look that I'm going to do today, you have obviously seen it in my intro already, but I really am called to use this again, even though I did do a one and done look with this one. And I also really want to do a halo eye, and I figured since this has a little bit of purple sparkles to it, I want to do it with this one, which is a little bit more of a burgundy kind of shadow. And I think I'll just blend it out with these two maybe, and I'm not sure yet if I will use this for like the middle or if I'll even use this to really accentuate that green base in this shadow. But I'm just gonna start with this one. With this shadow I am using my WG3 brush from Stasi Alex, and I'm just going to try to create kind of like a wispy look with the shadow. And since I'm making this a halo eye, I am also placing it right here in the inner corner. I'm just gonna start with this shadow on the lower lash line as well. And if you can see, like, I want this shape, not this one. This one is way too droopy, so I'll probably end up removing, like taking a wipe or something and remove that. But I mean, I should probably do that now. Okay, so I removed a little bit, and I'm just going to take this kind of orangey, I mean, it is more of an orange than brown shade right here. And to tone it down a little bit, I'm just taking a little bit of that shade that is next to it, which is more of a beigey brown, because I feel like this one was maybe a little bit more bright than what I wanted. To blend out that berry shadow, I'm going to use this kind of peachy cream shadow. Oh wow, that is so pigmented. Wow. Okay, so I mean, I should have known because I always say that Glam Shop has amazing transitional shadows because they're so opaque. Wow. You can see it just erases whatever is underneath. And it's very like loosely pressed, I guess you could call it. So I'm actually going to go into this super bright neon green. I'm only going to place this on the lid and just slightly above the crease, just as kind of like a base for the shimmer shadow. I'll definitely say that this one, if you're going to use it alone, you should definitely use a creamy white base just to make sure you get all the potential of the shadow. But again, I'm just using this as a base for the green shimmer, so I'm going to apply some glam glue just to make it really stick. And now I'm taking the shade Rococo and I'm just applying that on top. And I was thinking I'd maybe use a little bit of that iridescent shade too, because that has a little bit more of a green sheen to it, which I really like. But I'm gonna see how this one ends up looking alone first. I don't know, I have to think a little bit more about it if I should add something else. I mean, this one is really beautiful. I mean, I guess I could try to tap it just slightly over to add some sparkles. I'm trying to really not make it overpower the other shadow. Wow, that is so pretty. It's like a lot of tiny sparkles all over. I really like that. And I do see that I have to add a little bit more of the deeper shadow just here so that I make sure that it's like in the outer V. But other than that, I'm really liking this look this far. And I'll definitely use that iridescent shadow in the inner corner once I finish up as well. I feel like I'm having just so much fun using this palette, so I just figured I would dip a little bit into this more cool toned purple and kind of blend it where I added this one to make it just a little bit of cooler toned look. So we will just see how this build. I hope that it works. I just want like a little bit more of a cooler tone. That actually worked just as I wanted it to. I think that looks so pretty. I'm going to do the same on the inner corner as well. Should have had an even smaller brush for this, but it's fine. That's how it's looking this far. I do kind of wish that this wasn't as orange, so I'm actually just gonna do some color theory and go into the, where is it here? The periwinkle kind of light blue. And I'm just gonna see if it blends out to be kind of like a grungy green, if I'm able to actually mix them together or not. It might end up looking a little bit muddy, but that's also fine because I just want this to be a bit more toned down. Yeah, that's really interesting. I think the blue one has so much white that it's just canceling out and making this totally neutral. Which again, perfect, because I just didn't want it to be as warm. One of like my goals this year is to play a bit more around with colors and not necessarily just always use them as intended, but kind of mix together colors and layer a little bit more, because palettes and products in general have so much more potential than what we let them, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so I'm happy with how this is looking right now. So I'll just go ahead and do the rest of my makeup. I'll use something from my waterline and I'll show you the close-up of this finished look. that's how the finished look turned out, and I'm really liking this palette. I just think the color story is very interesting, and I understand if some people maybe don't see exactly what to do with this palette, but personally I love a challenge like that, and I'm really happy with how the look that I made today turned out, and also with the one and done look that I created with this one, which I don't think I've shown you yet, so I can pop some photos up of that. Also a video I think that I posted on Instagram in the stories, so you can see how that one looks all over the eye. It's really such a special, unique shade. I don't think I've seen anything like it before. And I just think in general this palette is really beautiful. You have some really bright colors, and honestly all of the shimmers are really spectacular to me, so I'm just really excited about this palette. And I also just wanted to show a few other products that I used for my look today, because I purchased a lot of other products as well when I purchased this palette from Glam Shop. So I also got this one, which is a face palette from the calendar that they had. They always have a calendar during December, and I just thought this palette looked really beautiful and kind of perfect for my skin tone. So there's a bronzing shade, there is a kind of peachy glowy blush, and there's a highlighter. And I think I actually, well, I didn't use the bronzer, but I used these two, and I just feel like they make the cheek look so beautiful. And the bronzer I used is actually from this one. I think this was Valentine's last year. It's called the Cherubina palette, and it looks like this on the inside. As you can see, also this palette is very light, but it's perfect for my skin tone, so I decided to pick it up because it was really cheap, and I used this bronzer today. And this blush is a really nice peachy toned blush, and then we also have some very glowy blushes which can be used as highlighters if you have a deeper skin tone as well. And I do find that when I really just apply it very like gently and buff it on, I do get a really nice glowy cheek using those. Lastly, of the Glam Shop products that I used that are new to me, I ordered these lashes that I'm wearing today, and those were also from the calendar, and I'm so happy with these lashes. I didn't even have to cut them, they just fit perfectly, and I just think they're really beautiful and dramatic while still not being way too voluminous or way too long. I think these are called Accenti, but I actually went to the website right now because I want more of them, and you can only buy one pair in each order, which is so sad because I would have ordered like at least 5 pairs if I could. It's just such a beautiful lash to me. And as for the lipstick that I'm wearing a Glasting water tint from Romand, and this one is in the shade Brick River number 3. And it's just such a beautiful, comfortable lip tint, and it has a very glossy appearance, and I just went ahead and ordered a bunch more colors from this brand, but I don't think I ordered any colors with this exact formula because they were just very similar, I guess, but definitely a beautiful, beautiful formula. Oh, and I completely forgot to mention, but I did also order the Rococo Face Serum, and I used this yesterday underneath my Inglot foundation, and you can actually see that in one of my previous videos where I used the Shelby, like I presented all the Shelby products that I have, and I did a wear test, and my foundation after 7 or 8 or 9 hours still looked almost as if it was newly applied, and I used this one underneath. I didn't use anything else, so I'm really curious if this is like what made it look so good, because usually my foundation doesn't look that good after so long, so I'm definitely going to be trying out this more. So there are quite a few extracts here from flowers and such, which just sounded really nice, and yeah, I'm excited to be trying this out more. But I think that's actually it for this video. I would love to hear what you think of this palette. Do you like the color story, and is it something you'd be interested in getting yourself? Please leave a comment down below and let me know. And thank you so much for watching. I hope that I will see you in my next video as well. Bye!